Strongly standing with its ally Israel at the United Nations, the United States used its veto power to block a United Nations Security Council resolution that had called for a humanitarian pause in the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, stating that the resolution did not recognize Israel's right to self-defense. 12 out of 15 nations voted in favor of the resolution put forward by Brazil, while Russia and the United Kingdom abstained from voting. Though the United States had voted against the resolution, its vote counted as a veto as it is one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations. US Ambassador to UN Linda Thomas-Greenfield stated that the US is disappointed that the resolution made no mention of Israel's right to self-defense. Taking the Article 51 of the UN Charter into the context, Greenfield said that like any other nation in the world, Israel has the inherent right to self-defense.
Colleagues, the United States is disappointed this resolution made no mention of Israel's rights of self-defense. Like every nation in the world, Israel has the inherent right of self-defense as reflected in Article 51 of the UN Charter.
The US envoy added that when previously terrorist attacks were made by Al-Qaeda and ISIS on several nations, the Council had reaffirmed the nation's right to defend. Thus, regarding Israel, the same should have been done.
Following previous terrorist attacks by groups such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS, this Council reaffirmed that right. This text should have done the same.
The resolution stated that the Council firmly condemned all violence and hostilities against civilians and all acts of terrorism. The UN resolution further adds that it unequivocally rejects and condemns the heinous terrorist attacks by Hamas and taking of hostages, urging all the parties to fully comply with their obligations under the international law. Prior to this resolution, Council members voted on 2 proposed Russian amendments. However, both were denied as they failed to secure a minimum of 9 votes in its favor. One of the proposals urged for a humanitarian ceasefire, while the other aimed at denouncing unselective assaults on civilians and civilian structures in Gaza. Pertinently, in an act of strong support, US President Joe Biden visited Israel on Wednesday and also announced a $100 million humanitarian aid for Gaza and West Bank for people who are in dire need of food, water, medicine, and shelter.